Welcome, everyone. We are jumping right into today's explainer, and let me tell you, it's a big one. We're looking at how connected educators really step up to become true leaders in today's modern schools. If you've been trying to figure out how an educator transforms into a catalyst for change or a fierce advocate for diverse learners, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how you can identify, explore, evaluate, and adopt the right digital resources to take a theoretical vision and turn it into actual on-the-ground classroom reality.
Okay, let's kick things off with a quote straight from our source material that really sets the stage. Technology amplifies human potential. I mean, what a powerful statement, right? Technology is so often talked about in these extreme terms. It's either the ultimate savior or this tremendous evil. But really, as our sources remind us, at the end of the day, all technology is just a set of tools. But man, these are tools with absolutely incredible potential to do new things in entirely new ways with our learners, and to connect and collaborate with the broader community. The stakes here are high, but the potential, it is massive.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll dive into shaping a shared vision. Then we'll talk about advocating for digital equity. Third on the list is curating your digital toolkit. That's the highly practical stuff. And finally, we'll wrap up with evaluating EdTech for success. Let's jump right into step 1.
Section 1. Shaping a shared vision and turning ideas into classroom practice.
Now, take a look at the domino effect of a really strong vision. As our sources highlight from a leadership vision workshop, a shared vision for a school leads directly to clarity, access, innovation, action, and ultimately a much stronger community. But hey, we have to be a little careful here. It's really easy to say things like, well, all students should learn at high levels, right? But what does that actually look like in practice? This isn't just about taking what we've always done and doing it a tiny bit differently. It's a game changer. It forces us to completely rethink how we've done things in the past. It's about pulling that vision out of the leadership's head and planting it directly into the daily practice of teachers.
So how does that big, theoretical vision actually become a reality? Well, it takes concrete steps. Step 1, define the issues. Step 2, build a solution with technology. And Step 3, present it to the community. Our sources shared this fantastic real-world example of this in action. A group of teachers were given blocks of time to literally build their vision. They went out, grabbed flip cameras, and honestly, some of them had never even seen one before, downloaded the footage, and put it to work right away. They created these awesome podcasts detailing a day in the life of a 21st century teacher. They used video, images, sound, and music to communicate their ideas. The key takeaway here, these educators weren't just passively participating, they were leading. They didn't just talk about a vision, they used technology to build it and then proudly presented the whole shebang to their community.
Moving right along to Section 2, advocating for digital equity and bridging the divide.
Now, it is absolutely crucial that we ensure our vision serves the incredibly diverse learning populations in our schools. Because on one side of the scale, we have this beautiful ideal, right? A free and appropriate public education for all students. But the actual implementation is far from perfect. On the other side of the scale, the foundation is, frankly, fractured. The reality is there are still glaring inequities in the system. And as our sources point out, recent economic climates and the pandemic have really thrown a harsh spotlight on these digital divides in our schools and communities.
Now, don't get me wrong, we have definitely made some serious progress. Over the past decade, we've seen a huge expansion of high-speed internet in schools. The prices of digital devices have plummeted. Plus, cloud-based solutions and social media have provided this incredible, unprecedented access to information. But here's the thing. Your job as a connected leader is to fiercely advocate for equitable access. You have to ensure we close those remaining gaps, making sure the diverse needs of all students are met with genuine, accessible learning opportunities. All right, on to Section 3, curating your digital toolkit, where we look at actual resources for modern learning.
So remember that digital divide we were just talking about? Well, open educational resources, or OERs, are honestly one of your absolute best tools to bridge it. These are teaching and learning materials that are either in the public domain or released under a license that lets you freely use, tweak, or share them. So instead of shelling out for expensive licensing fees, educators can use OERs to tackle equity issues head-on in the classroom. Our sources highlight some truly incredible, completely free databases for this, like OER Commons, the Teaching Commons, and Merlot. They bring together some incredibly high-quality resources, and it doesn't cost a dime.
Once you've got your foundational resources, you're going to need creation tools. And wow, there are thousands of tools out there, but let's just look at a few absolute standouts. You've got amazing design tools like Canva and PictoChart for creating really professional graphics and infographics. Or there's Storyboard That for building highly visual comic narratives. If you want your students publishing their own work, Book Creator lets them build online books complete with embedded audio and video. And Powtoon? It opens up the entire world of animation to them. These aren't just fun little toys. They empower students to create authentic, professional-looking products that vividly showcase exactly what they know.
Next up, we need tools for assessment and interaction. Formative is fantastic because it allows for real-time monitoring of how your students are doing. Meanwhile, Kahoot and Jeopardy Labs bring this awesome, gamified, competitive excitement to standard quizzes. Flipgrid is a real game changer for asynchronous video responses. Students can even add little drawings and emojis to their replies, which they love. But hey, what if your classroom is super short on technology? That's where a totally brilliant tool like Plickers comes in. Listen to this. Students just hold up a unique printed paper card to show their answer, and the teacher simply scans the room with a single smartphone to instantly read everyone's responses. It's incredibly low-tech for the students, but high impact. It is the perfect bridge across the digital divide.
When we look at exploration and media, the possibilities are just staggering. Google Earth offers these amazing virtual 3D globe tours. Your students can literally examine global weather patterns or dive down to look at underwater topography. Then you've got YouTube, which is arguably one of the greatest resources out there for a connected educator. By carefully curating YouTube playlists, you can organize collections to keep students totally focused and, crucially, minimize inappropriate content, which is absolutely vital for digital safety. TED-Ed is another great one. It lets you build flipped lessons around existing videos, adding multiple choice questions and discussion boards. And for the younger learners, GoNoodle is amazing for getting them out of their seats, turning movement into a game, and even practicing a little mindfulness.
Okay, I want to pivot for just a second here and ask you a question that our sources actually pose directly. What in the world can Angry Birds teach us? Seriously, be honest for a second. How many of you have spent way too much time playing it?
Well, it might surprise you, but games like Angry Birds or Minecraft are absolutely packed with educational potential. I mean, they're secretly teaching Newton's laws, numeration, trajectory, the scientific method, and deep strategic planning. Think about it. The gaming industry is a $100 billion a year giant precisely because it knows how to immerse people in powerful virtual worlds. And their secret? These worlds teach and assess learners constantly, without the player even noticing they're being tested. They provide instant gratification and immediate, actionable feedback. Connected educators look at this and tap right into that psychological insight to effectively engage a generation of kids who are always plugged in.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Evaluating EdTech for Success and Making Informed Choices.
With so many tools out there, to make sense of all the noise, you really need a strict evaluation framework before you adopt anything new. You have to ask yourself the big guiding questions. First up, cost. Does the product actually cost money to use? Next, ease of use. Is it relatively easy for a complete novice to learn? Then, approval. Is this tool actually approved by your specific school or district? We can't skip that one. What about versatility? Is it applicable to multiple different instructional situations, or is it just a one-trick pony? And ultimately, rating. What do the consumer ratings say, and more importantly, what is your own professional judgment about its true usefulness?
Because beyond the logistics of cost and district approval, you have to look deeply at the instructional design. Every single digital tool out there is crafted to perform a specific function and provide a specific benefit. So, as a connected leader, you must determine, is this tool going to be a source of new information? Will it allow your learners to create a truly authentic learning product? Does it actually facilitate meaningful communication and collaboration? Or is it primarily serving as a formative or summative assessment? You see, ensuring a tool's fundamental function perfectly aligns with your shared vision, that is exactly what makes technology an accelerator for learning, rather than just another classroom distraction.
Well, we have covered a whole lot of ground today, from shaping a shared vision and fiercely advocating for digital equity, to exploring a vast digital toolkit and learning exactly how to evaluate what's inside it. So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you step fully into your role as a connected leader. Which tool are you going to use for your lesson planning tomorrow? Seriously, which specific tool will you explore, evaluate, and adopt into your own personal collection of resources right now? The vision is clear. The tools are waiting. The next step is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.